Hey, everybody. We're going to take a look at, I guess we can call them quote unquote highlights from Wednesday night's episode. But something's kind of been bugging me and I wanted to talk about it. I've been thinking recently about how last week it was disclosed that Sweet Tea is a few months pregnant. She's been pregnant for a bit. I think for maybe 4 months pregnant, they said. And it was interesting to me to think about how um, she she must have disclosed this to Keem at some point. I mean, it's a possibility. So I'm trying to think like if it was a possibility that while she was on bus with Amber and Scooter, she disclosed to Keem that she was pregnant. I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, I don't, you don't necessarily have to disclose that you're pregnant to anyone, but I think if you're doing a show where there are drinking streams and you're running around and dancing and doing, tricks and devious licks or whatever it is that people do on these shows, you might want to let your boss know, like, hey, I might not be able to do everything because, of my status. And it got me thinking. So if Keem found out that Sweet Tea was pregnant and he used that as an opportunity to move her to 4 o'clock in the morning, that's a pretty fucked up thing to do. It is for him to have seen it as an opportunity to get rid of her and to parade a bunch of girl world women in front of himself and have them all vie for his attention. That's fucked up. But it's also fucked up to find out that someone is pregnant and make them wake up in the morning at like 3 a.m. to do their job. Because I mean, I've never been pregnant, but it is my understanding that pregnant people need sleep, that they need to care for their bodies, that it's kind of it's difficult to create another human being inside of yourself, and to like punish someone like that is fucked up beyond the normal like put salami on your head or like break your own window punishment. And if by some chance she didn't disclose at any point to Keem that she was pregnant in any of the mess and any of the drinking streams. By the way, I went back and looked at the drinking streams that she was on most recently, and she does not drink. She opens up a bottle of like pre-made Bacardi, and it looks kind of like she takes a sip at the beginning, and then for the rest of the stream, she is sipping from like water and like a can of Coke. So, um, yeah, and then so if now that Keem has known for a week, he's known that this person is it's like whatever they used to call it a delicate condition. I still consider it a delicate condition, and she still has to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not saying, and I know exactly what people are saying. You're screaming it at your screens, and I know exactly, and I can hear Tina saying it, that you don't treat women like they're delicate flowers and they're tough badass bitches, and Sweet Tea's a badass bitch. You don't get to decide that for another person. You don't get to decide for Sweet Tea that she's a badass and can take it. She was not interested in working at 4 o'clock in the morning. She made that very clear. I'm not saying that pregnant people cannot get up at 4 a.m. and work their asses off and get shit done. They absolutely do because they are forced to all the time. They should not have to. So, this is just me. This is me. This is my channel. This is my opinion that Keem forced a pregnant person to um, punished a person for getting pregnant and by moving her off of a normal time to now have to wake up in the middle of the night and deal with the things that she's dealing with physically instead of sleeping through the night like a person should. So that's my take. That is my hot savory take. So with that said, uh, we can let's dive in and take a look at the same old bullshit.
We got Oompa Cheese up first, which I think you gained a little bit. 202.8. I think you were like 200 last week. So
No, no, she lost.
Oh, she did? Oh, good. Congratulations, then. Hell yeah. I was about to bully her for eating the French fries.
Ha ha.
Yeah, all right. You don't have to do that. I'm at 300.1, which means I also lost weight. I actually have a funny story about this. I weighed myself. I was a little bit heavier than that, and I really had to poop though. So I'm like, well, let me go ahead and poop. And I was praying to God I'd get below 300, but it didn't happen.
Was it the pneumonia diet?
I'm sure that had something to do with it. I also haven't drank in like a week and a half, so that probably also contributed.
Honestly, for a second, I thought that was Amber Lynn's, and I was about to say, bitch, she is not 300.
No, that's not Amber Lynn's. Now,
my legs are 300. 150 each.
That fucking chin is about 50.
Arcade Pilot, thank you for 1 month of bandwidth. Good little cow bus band. And then, wait. There's Amber Lynn's 519.4, so we all lost weight. How about that?
I guess they're doing like some kind of weight. There's no like stated weight loss challenge, and they're not saying how they're losing weight or anything. I think they're just doing weigh-ins to shame Amber because she's a great big fat person. I'm not gonna congratulate Amber for any weight loss until it's like significant. And for those of you who are new to Amber who don't understand and feel like I'm being like really cruel to her, she joined YouTube like 12 years ago as a weight loss channel at 300 pounds and has spent the past 10 years gaining 250 pounds. And she is in a constant state of weight loss and wanting support for weight loss. And it gets exhausting when she loses 30 pounds and wants her flowers for it, and then gains and gains and gains and gains and bounces back and forth and makes no effort and only makes excuses. So those of us who have been trying to support her for a long time, it may sound like we're coming from a cruel place, but we're all just very exhausted.
Super chatted $20. No hearts necessary. But why do Amber and Fupa have beef?
She hates me. She's parasocial. She believes the rumors. She's ugly and she's Fupa cheese. And she smells like Fupa cheese.
Amber Lynn is a fake ass bitch. She lies all the time, like literally.
You're the fake one, and you're the liar. You're lying right now.
Out of her mouth is a fucking lie. And she's ugly. And she's ugly. She abuses her partners.
I'm not ugly.
Let her finish.
She's
I take care
500
of my
pounds. I mean, the list goes on.
So we all caught that she was accused of being ugly, abusing her partners, and mistreating her pets. And she came back with, I'm not ugly, and I take good care of my pets. So I appreciate that she is no longer pushing back on the way she treats her partners. I feel like that's growth. That
sucks. All right. Angie has such a relaxing voice. That voice could put me to sleep. That voice could put me to sleep 10 times over. All right,
yeah, I love Angie and AMAC, but that bitch on the bleep.
Okay, pause real quick. They're both boring as fuck.
Okay, I'm not gonna go into this because there's nothing to comment on here. I just want to acknowledge how absurd it is that like Lol Bus is watching Lol Chubby watching Lol Bus. Like it's all just the Pissybeefs. It's more Pissybeefs. Their beef with each other is that they're like, you have a boring voice. Like what? They're just boring, pissy little beefs. No one has a real problem with each other.
Forget.
That's not true, Kelly. No, she's an instigator. She's an instigator. That is not true. That is not true. No.
Doc, he gets negative 1,000 for that.
That is not true. That's a lie. That is a lie, dude. That is not true.
So you may have heard Amber in there mentioning that she wants Scooter to be docked. She wants him to have something docked. And so what has happened recently is Keem, who runs the LCU, has started a social credit leaderboard where if you are kind to each other or your like niceness gets points, and you move up and down the leaderboard if you're nice or if you're not nice, which is just another behind the scenes horrible like management technique, control, emotional, physical, like verbal control of the people who work for you. This is turning more into a cult every fucking day.
Dude, this shit's actually insane.
You're the greatest. You're the greatest host I've ever had in my life. And you're gonna be here forever.
Stop it. I am done with the gaslight thing. It's not happening. It's not happening.
No, Scooter, I actually think you're the best.
So now, in addition to the Pissybeefs, we get the donut glaze, and I don't like any of it.
But outside of that, dog, it's all in fun. Let's just talk shit and have fun. Like, who fucking cares? I'm gonna continuously call Amber a fat fucking hog, no matter what.
There's an entire industry, and a thriving one, built around specifically talking shit to Amber Lynn Reid. So if all you've got to bring, if all you've got after all these weeks is fat fucking hog, you cannot sit with us. All right, glasses? Put your back into it. And I want you to come back here next week with 7 specific, devastating insults for Amber Lynn Reid. And if you don't, you have to put salami on your head.
By my side since the day I was fucking born, okay?
I mean,
You should not say that about a child.
No.
Would you say that about a child?
You put this shit onto yourself.
Would you say that about a child?
My fucking family.
Would you say that about a child?
I'm saying that about your parents because they were not doing their job as a parent.
How is that
And
my
that's
fault?
Facts.
I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but Fupa went after Amber for being put in foster care as a child, and that's not something you can talk to someone about. That's not something you can make part of your beef. You can't beef with someone about that. That was fucked up of Fuba, and that wasn't an okay thing to say. It's not a child's fault when whatever they go through. And it's not something you can bring. You can't even bring it up. I don't even think you have a right to bring it up. And I know that Keem and Fupa and Amber and Scooter all sat down and talked about it. And I guarantee that this was like approved. But that's just insanely fucked up. And I know they're saying it for rage. And I know it's for rage bait or whatever, and for interaction. And they want people to give $20 donations so that they can say, hey, that's fucked up. No one did, by the way. No one put $20 down to say, Fupa, you're fucked up for that. So, the rest of this episode is just whatever. She clipped her choker and blah, blah, blah. No one cares. Yeah, Amber has evolved in a weird way where I don't think that she's not the Amber that we used to react to. What's exciting and what was interesting and what was compelling about Amber, it no longer exists. Like her in her life and her side characters and her choices and her issues, like she used to just sort of exist, and we would react to that and enjoy it and like whatever, talk about it. And now she's become she's sort of melted into this primordial soup. She's not herself anymore. She's now like a much, much smaller piece in this bigger thing that isn't good or worth really watching. Like, I think Keem thought he would get all of us in this merger, that would all just move over and all of us would watch her wherever she is, but she isn't herself. She is this highly processed, packaged, smaller version of herself that is like stuck inside all of these stupid beefs and manufactured conversations, and there's nothing organic about her anymore. So I mean, honestly, obviously I'll keep watching a little bit, but I don't know how much longer. I really do feel like, I'm sure you do too. You feel like we're repeating ourselves. Yeah, and I'm sorry I've been talking so much. There just wasn't that much to watch. So I think what I learned today, one thing I did learn today is they had somebody named Iceman on. It wasn't interesting, but somebody did mention that there are cows and there are wranglers. So some of the people, so I automatically assume that everyone is a lol cow and that they have some sort of weird dark past. But I guess some of them don't. They're just like lol cow adjacent, and they will help sort of wrangle the cows. So that's what we learned. That was our lesson for today. That, and Keem likes to punish pregnant women by putting them at 4:00 in the morning. And that Amber is no longer a person. She is a prop. That's what I learned today. Thanks so much to everybody for listening this far. This is where I leave you. Bye.
Bitch. Let me put you on to something.